wanted to bring this up because, at first we laughed about it, and then we did a little bit of research, and then we're seeing that it's really a serious subject, that people are concerned with.
Did you push record?
Thanks so much for tuning into our second act with Paige and Silka. Today we welcome back Frank Wiegers to our program, the sex and relationship coach and co-founder of Top Gun Love. Frank, thanks so much for joining me again.
Hey, Silka, always great to be with you. We always have a good time.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm looking forward to this segment. We, just started a new series on sexual health, taking charge of your sexual health after 50. And Paige and I talked about some viewer questions, private as they may have been submitted, but we really wanted to address it because we haven't done that yet. And that's the topic of the big G-spot controversy. So who else can I talk to? Who's better than you, Frank?
Thank you. Well, I've read every book I can get on sex and arousal, and probably one of the best books I ever read was Sherry Winston's book. I don't have it with me right here, but it was called The Anatomy of Female Arousal.
Okay, we'll link to that.
And in that book, she talks about the fact that it's not really a G spot, it's a G area. And what it is, it's the line, the urethral tube that goes down from the bladder to the urethral opening, and it has a sponge around it. Now, a lot of people don't realize that, everybody knows when a man gets an erection, it's very obvious. Well, women get erections too, and it is fairly obvious if you look for it. You see that the outer labia retract, the inner labia expand, the clitoris expands and comes out maybe a little from its hood. Well, there's also stuff going on inside. And that sponge that goes around the urethra gets engorged as well. So it has an erection, and that's really the G area. And the way you can find it is that a woman must be aroused first. So then you have to put your finger in, and you can feel a little ridged, maybe a rough spot along the length of that urethral tube. And that's the G area. And then there's three ways that you can stimulate it. You can go around and do the come hither kind of thing and feel the pubic bone, or you could do the windshield wiper motion and you feel the ridge, or the old in and out. So that's pretty much basically the story. It's really a G area. But it's definitely something, and it's different for every woman, because every woman has, and just like every man, has different connections to those nerve endings that come out the pelvic nerves, and some of them are in different places. So like for some men, the prostate's a very hot spot. For me, it's not. So anyhow, that's my story.
That's my story. Let's stick into it. Well, I wanted to bring this up because, at first we laughed about it, and then we did a little bit of research, and then we're seeing that it's really a serious subject, that people are concerned with. In fact, some women feel dysfunctional because they haven't had a G-spot orgasm. So we really wanted to address that, especially now at our age, after 50, and how things change after menopause. In fact, I read that because of the thinning of the vaginal walls, with our loss of estrogen, that actually helps us find the G-spot easier. So maybe there's actually a benefit to sex after 50.
Women, even if you have a G-spot awareness and sensations in their G-spot, still may not orgasm from G-spot stimulation. The clitoris is the go-to place. And so, but you have to experiment. I mean, some women will orgasm from cervix manipulation, and some can orgasm from anal manipulation. So, I mean, every woman is different, just as every man is different. So don't put a burden on yourself thinking that you have to have it that way. So you may or you may not, but play with it. It's certainly a wonderful sensation, and it feels good and will heighten the overall experience.
It's another example that sex after 50, there's a lot of exploration to be done and a lot of fun to be had.
Well, the good thing, especially for guys to know, is after 50, there's this old joke, it takes me all night to do what I used to do all night. And so men are not so trigger happy, so to speak. And so they can prolong the stimulation. And of course, the whole idea is touching each other and getting the connection, which creates the oxytocin, which creates the bond. And that's what leads to that amazing spiritual experience.
Yeah. Well, and of course, we'll link to all of your information on, creating lasting and sizzling sex after 50, as well as your book, That's Why They Do That, Men, Women, and Their Hormones. Lots of great information, especially as we enter this age of, menopause, postmenopause. Frank, is there anything else you want to leave us with on the G-spot for this segment?
Well, yeah, I just want to encourage people, if they haven't explored it, to give it a whirl, or well, give it something, but give it some attention and play with it. But always remember that for the G spot or G area to be active, the woman must be aroused.
Yeah. And incidentally, if anybody has thought about why is it called the G spot, I just learned this too. In 1950, it was a German gynecologist, Ernst Grafenberg, so leave it to the Germans, who discovered the area and has caused a controversy since then. So, Frank, thank you so much for joining us. I wish you the happiest of birthday. Tell Judith hello, and we'll see you next time on Our Second Act with Paige and Silka. For more videos about taking charge of your sexual health after 50, please visit our website, secondact.tv. If you haven't already done so, take just one quick second and subscribe to our channel. The button's right over here. See you next time.